Hey everyone, welcome back to Age and Education channel. Today we shall continue with the chapter Nutrition. So we had been looking into the nutrition in plants, right? As a part of it, we are done with autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition, right? So before we get into this nutrition in animals, we shall look into some special modes of nutrition. Okay, special types of nutrition. As part of this, we will look into saprotrophic nutrition. What is it? Saprotrophic nutrition, and also we shall see about symbiosis. Okay, as part of the saprotrophic nutrition, first of all, what is the saprophyte? What are the examples of saprophytes? So the examples would be the fungi and bacteria. Okay, when I say fungi, you have to understand that I am speaking about these common appearances, right? In the day-to-day life of yours, you can see that on the bread there's something formed, right? Something very awkward thing will be there when you keep the bread for longer days. On the stale breads you can find it, right? So this is called as bread mold, and it's a type of fungi. Okay, and where else, and what else? Yeast is also a type of fungi. Okay, and even mushroom is a type of fungi. Yes, mushroom is a type of fungi. Yes, you may you be amazed that bread mold and yeast are so tiny and mushroom is a bit bigger, right? Yes, but mushroom is a saprophyte and it's a fungi. Okay, so next is bacteria. So what happens with this? So saprotrophs get their nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter. What is it? Decaying organic matter. Okay, so bread, when it is getting decayed, it means that it has become stale, it gets decayed, right? So the bread mold will form on this decaying organic matter. Okay, so saprophytes get their nutrition from what? Dead and decaying organic matter. What happens? These organisms will secrete some digestive juices on the dead and the decaying organic matter. With this, what happens? These digestive juices act upon that matter and they will convert this matter into soluble form. Soluble form means it can absorb, right? It can absorb the nutrition that is present in that dead and decaying organic matter. Okay, so like how animals, plants have its way of obtaining nutrition or making its own food, right? In the same manner, saprotrophs do depend on what? Dead and decaying matter to get its nutrients. Okay, so every organism, what does it need? Every organism needs, yes, some sort of nutrients, right? So that it can survive and it can sustain its life. And these nutrients, these saprotrophs get it from what? This type of matter. So is it like it can just get? No, it has its own mechanism. It will add some digestive juices. What does it do? It will use the digestive juices. It will secrete some digestive juices, and these digestive juices act upon this dead and decaying matter, decaying organic matter, not to forget this word. Okay, dead and decaying organic matter, and converts this matter into soluble form so that it can absorb. Okay, so that the saprotrophs can absorb. Once again I'm telling you this. Okay, so first thing what happens? Yes, first thing is that we have seen that the some sort of fungi and bacteria will feed on what? Yes, we have repeated it so many times, right? Dead and decaying organic matter. Don't forget this word, organic matter. Okay, so how does this happen? How will the fungi and bacteria derive its nutrients from dead and decaying organic matter? It is like they will secrete some digestive juices, right? These digestive juices act upon this dead and decaying organic matter and will make it into soluble form, and from this soluble form the fungi and bacteria will get its nutrients, right? Yes, I hope you got it right. I have repeated it so that it will sit in your brain. Okay. Now, what are fungi? How will it look like? Fungus. Fungus is the singular form and fungi is the plural form. Okay. So this fungi, you can find it at so many places, and they survive in warm and humid. What is it? Warm and humid areas. And they appear like some sort of white cottony mass. Okay. There will be like fine threads that will just spread upon some stale bread, or if you take some pickles and some leather goods. Okay, at many places you can find this fungus. You can ask your parents to show once. Okay, but be careful, don't get so near to that. I don't want unnecessary exposure to such sort of things. Okay, but just stay away and see. Ask your parents to show you once. Okay, it's not difficult to see how the fungi looks like. Why I am asking you to see is that how much ever I say on when I say this thing, theory is theory, but when you see it with your eyes, then you can remember it forever. Okay, so next, how does it spread? Fungi. So once it has gotten into some bread piece, okay, then how does it spread? It spreads through spores. What is it? Spores. Next, what happens? Spores of the fungi will always float around in the air, and in the hot and moist weather, these spores land on some moist and organic matter. They germinate and form a mesh of fine threads called fungus. Okay, so what happened? These spores, once they get onto some moist and organic matter, they germinate and they multiply and they form a fine mesh. Okay, it will appear like threads. Okay, it will form a thread like structure. This is about the fungus. Okay, now I hope you understood the entire process of the saprotrophic nutrition. Okay, now shall we get into symbiosis? I hope everything is fine. I made it clear. Okay, if at all there's something missing, you can ask me. Okay, this is how the fungus look like, the white cottony mass thread like structure. Okay, so there may be a question like what will be the structure of fungi? Okay, usually I'm saying, not every time. Okay, the mushroom looks different, you all know. Okay, usually on the bread mold and on pickles you will find this sort of thing, and it is called as fungi. Okay, next, shall we get into, and the other important thing is how will the fungus spread, right? It is like, how will the fungus reproduce? It will reproduce through spores. This is so important. Spores are so tiny particles, you can't even see with your naked eye. Okay, the reproduction in the fungus can be seen through spores. Okay, and the important thing is this term saprotrophic nutrition. Okay, now next, what is the other special type of nutrition we want to see? Yes, symbiosis. What is it? Symbiosis. What about the symbiosis? So what is symbiosis? Symbiosis can be considered as when there is some long-term interaction between, what is it? Long-term interaction between two organisms of different species. Then you can say that there is some sort of symbiotic relationship. What happens in this relationship? It may be that one organism may derive benefit from other, or both of the organisms can derive benefits from each other. Okay, so there are many types of symbiotic relationships. Okay, and here especially like when we are talking about some examples that I am giving here, we will talk about a relationship wherein these two different organisms will derive benefit from each other. It's not that one organism will derive the benefit and the other organisms will be giving and not taking anything. Here both the organisms are gonna take some help, or like one organism may give something and the other organism may give something else. So these two will share their what do you call their virtues or their advantages, or whatever this one needs, the other organism may give in that manner. Okay, they will share the nutrients, or maybe they will one organism may provide shelter and the other organism may provide nutrients. Okay, in that manner the sharing will take place. So here the symbiosis that we are talking about is that when there are two organisms that live in close association, and when they are involved in long-term interaction and they share their nutrients or shelter, and they they live in association to get mutual benefit, then this sort of relationship is called as symbiotic relationship. Okay, here I have mentioned so many things. It's because when you get into higher classes, you can see that there are many types of symbiotic relationships too. Okay, it's not that in every symbiotic relationships both the organisms will derive benefit from each other. Okay, so that is the reason I wanted to make it clear that it is not that there is only one type of symbiotic relationship. Okay, so in further when you learn it, it will be clear to you that you are learning about one type of many symbiotic relationships that exist. Okay, so as part of this we shall see about what do you call lichen or lichen. I'm not sure, I'm not good at pronunciation of these sort of things. Okay, so I'll call it lichen. Okay, so here what is lichen? Lichen is not an organism, no. It is something like a complex life form wherein algae and fungus will live in the symbiotic relationship. Okay, so in the lichen you can see that algae and fungi live in symbiotic relationship. Okay, so what are the benefits? Like now you can see that what is algae? Algae is an autotroph, right? And how about the fungi? Fungi is a saprotroph. Okay, so here algae provides the food material to the fungus. Okay, and in return what happens? The fungus will provide shelter, water and minerals to the algae. So in this way these two live together. Okay, and this complex association and what do you call, it's like a hybrid colony. Okay, where the algae and fungus live together, and this is called as what? Lichen or lichen. Okay, and if we have to quote some other example of the symbiosis, you can say that this is the popular thing. Okay, popular example is that sorry, I have to do this because in the other slide I have some other figure diagrams for the next topic, so I had to find some space here itself. At the end, for your benefit, I will repeat this topic again so that everything will be clear. Okay, for now just I don't want to disturb this flow. I will let you know here itself, and at the end I will repeat this part. Okay, so the other symbiotic relationship is that rhizobium bacteria. Okay, this bacteria is known to fix the nitrogen. Okay, as I have mentioned earlier, the free nitrogen that is present in the atmosphere can't be used by the plants directly, right? So either the farmer will provide with the nitrogen based fertilizers, like the fertilizers that farmers will put for the plants for their healthy growth, that has the nitrogen that is needed by the plant or that can be used by the plant, or else what? Rhizobium bacteria. This helps to fix the nitrogen, that is to convert the free nitrogen into a type of nitrogen that can be used by the plants. Okay, so this rhizobium bacteria has got this speciality. So will this bacteria sustain like in every plant? No, this rhizobium bacteria will live only in what? Leguminous plants. Okay, leguminous plants like the pea plant. Okay, these rhizobium bacteria will live in this leguminous in the root nodules as such, not everywhere. Okay, they live in the root nodules of the leguminous plants, and they help each other in the sense that the rhizobium will convert the atmospheric nitrogen into some other nitrogenous compounds that can be used by the plant. And what does this leguminous plant do? What are first of all this leguminous plants? You can say that gram, peas, these sort of things are called as leguminous plants. So what they do is they give food and shelter to this bacteria. Okay, so this is a popular form of what? Yes, this is a popular form of symbiotic relationship where both the organisms benefit from each other. They have mutual benefit. Okay, what is it? Mutual benefit. Nice. So we are done with this, and apart from this, what we have to do? We have to do the modes of nutrition in animals too, right? So we shall continue with that. So in this video, I'll just introduce you to the topic of nutrition in animals. Okay, in the next video we shall look into the details, because it's already more than 15 minutes and I don't want to burden you with the lengthier videos. Okay, so nutrition in animals. So as I have mentioned, in the plants we can see what? We can see autotrophic nutrition. Okay, so these are like, what do you call, you can say, without plants, just imagine how the life would be. Plants are what? Autotrophic, will show autotrophic nutrition. It means that they can produce their own food, and many animals will depend upon these plants for their food needs, right? So what happens? These animals, there will be herbivorous animals that will live by eating, that can survive by eating the plants. Okay, and the other rest of the carnivorous animals will depend on these herbivorous animals, or right, herbivorous animals to have their food. Okay, so this is the cycle wherein the plants will produce their own food, and some herbivorous animals will eat these plants and will survive, and some carnivorous plants will carnivorous animals will eat these herbivorous animals and survive. And there are also omnivorous animals which can eat both plants and animals. So this is how everything is so what do you call, so properly aligned in our environment. Okay, so our nature has a, what do you call, has a schema wherein everything goes in a proper manner. When something is disturbed, then the entire cycle will get disturbed. That is the reason we have to take care of the environment. I always mention that apart from studying, you should become conscious, right? You should become like, you should know and understand what are the dynamics of this nature, and you should protect the environment, so that we can say that you can be proud at least that I am trying to make everything sustainable. Okay, so sustainable way of living is the main aspect that these generation kids should learn. Okay, sustainable way of living. We had been like since so many years, it is a main thing saying that you should always adopt sustainable way of living, but it's hardly happening. Okay, with so many like what do you call, there is so much of people are like, they want to spend a lot, right? They want to, they can happily buy a plastic bottle, drink and throw it, and they can have they can afford too much of electricity bills, and so they just leave the fans, TVs, and go here and there without actually make a judicious use of everything, right? So all these are like, you are leading a life that is not sustainable in the future. Okay, so you have to become conscious, and you have to try to get into this arena of sustainable way of living. Okay, please be conscious. I am saying again and again, because it is very important, and it is for our good. Okay, so now let us get into the topic. So about the nutrition in animals. So as I have mentioned, plants can make their own food, but animals can't make their own food. Okay, they have to depend either on the plants or the other animals. So always the mode of nutrition that we can see is heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, in this heterotrophic nutrition too, the way the nutrients are absorbed differs from animals to animals. Okay, and you can find in unicellular organisms one type of digestion, like one type of absorption of nutrients, and then some other simpler multicellular organisms one type. In the human it will be different, and in the what do you call cow it is different. Okay, I'll explain to you all this in the next chapter. This is about the nutrition in animals, and as I have mentioned, it is always heterotrophic nutrition. Okay, see you, bye then, bye.